What's up, y'all? So a question I see a lot among players who are trying to get better is how to do more damage. The obvious answer for that is hot drops and pushing fights, or farming damage with snipers, which is obvious, but those things won't really help you improve as a player. For me, consistently getting high damage games comes down to one key thing, and that's what I'm breaking down for y'all today. Before I get into that main concept, I want to talk about and kind of debunk those common answers I told y'all about in the intro. First, I want to talk about hot drops. Yeah, they do help. Obviously, fighting more people equals more damage, but they're a bit overrated. The truth is, in most cases, most of your damage in a high damage game comes from the mid and late game. I've dropped a ton of 3k damage games where I've had 0 damage off drop. And the reason that is because during hot drops, a lot of the people you kill will have no or white armor, maybe not even full health, and most times you don't even get to thirst because you have to focus on enemies still fighting around you. A good chunk of easy damage comes from thirst and kills. I can't even tell you the amount of times I've left a hot drop with 6 kills and only like 400 damage. This is why when you're trying to pick a spot to land, you don't necessarily need a hot drop, especially if you're only going for something like a 2k badge, but you do need to be aware of how many people are dropping and where. If half the dropship jumps out the first moment that they can, you need to drop 2 and find a place close by so that at the very least you can clean up. Now let's talk about snipers. If you're strictly going for a damage badge, I'd say go for it, but if you want to actually improve, you should probably just leave these on the ground unless you're specifically practicing with one. I find a lot of less skilled players gravitate towards these things and they just sit back poking, gaining empty damage and not really helping the team. Sniping like that can create some bad habits and also can lead you getting third partied. If someone hears a sniper going off for 5 minutes straight, it's almost an invitation to just force a close range fight. I can't tell you the amount of times I focused on teams sniping from a distance because I could easily tell they weren't good players and knew it would be an easy fight close range. Personally, I like to run 2 guns that can handle multiple ranges so I don't sacrifice much switching between them. Any combination of guns like the R301, Flatline, Spitfire, Volt, Scout, maybe even a 30-30 if you can hit with it. But with those 2 things out of the way, now we can talk about that main concept. The main thing to focus on that's going to consistently up your damage is survivability, which is literally just the ability to remain alive. You're probably thinking, well, obviously I'm not trying to die, but I saw you pick that corner when you were one shot, and I saw you chase that guy instead of reviving your teammate. Those are the types of things that add up. I'm not talking about how well you can kill people, I'm talking about how good you are at not dying, and believe me, there's a difference. In Apex, I describe it as a combination of positioning, knowing when to heal or armor swap, and possibly ability usage depending on your legend. I'll talk about abilities later. It's knowing when to push a team, hold your position, or reposition. The reality is, the trick to high damage games is just surviving for the entirety of the game. More time in the game equals more time to get damage in the game. Just by slowing down your gameplay a little bit, you can put out a lot of damage with less risk. A lot of people get obsessed with mechanical skill like aim and movement, but those are really just a piece of the puzzle. The Wraith footage I have on screen is from a 3500 damage game. If you've been watching that, you've probably noticed how mediocre it looks. You don't need to have crazy movement or anything to be effective, and that's what I want to show. The best thing you can learn how to do is put yourself in crazy situations and get out of them alive. It's often a combination of aggressiveness and defensiveness, and it's very patient. If you watch some of the best players play, you'll find yourself wondering how they even survived a certain situation you just know you would have died in, and a lot of the time, it's not even because they hit difficult shots, they just knew how to move around in a fight. It's a bit harder to explain than show, so if you're more curious, go back in this video and watch how I played the early 1v3 at Waterfall, and also how I handled the multiple squad fight between Waterfall and Estates. I got over 1k damage in each of those just by being patient and playing my positioning. The last thing I want to touch on but didn't want to be a main focus of the video is how abilities can affect survivability. The most popular legends like Wraith, Horizon, Octane, Path, and Bangalore are also popular because of their ability to reposition quickly to get out of sticky situations and heal. These legends have survivability built into their kit, which makes the game a bit easier to play. The reason Horizon is so strong right now is because not only does her ability allow her to easily gain high ground, she can heal while she's doing it unlike any other legend. So while I definitely recommend these legends to help you do more damage, you can also see it as a crush to allow lazier positioning. So that's going to wrap up my guide on how to do more damage consistently. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow. And let me know if there's anything else you want to see a guide on. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter, NCoWeTrust. Thanks again for watching. Peace.
push.
I'll take it.